Good morning. Today I'm making a couple of Christmas baubles. I like to make a couple every year. I tend to make them similar in a way because I want them all to match. I don't go out and buy new decorations every year. I like to use the same ones. And so, sticking with the theme that I use on my Christmas tree, I'm going to be using those kinds of colours as well. I'm starting off with a foam ball, and sometimes it's hard to find the centres on your foam balls and things to keep things even. They generally have a very fine line around the centre of them. So what I do is I try and get my centre part up here. You can measure that. This is a 4-inch ball, so you would be measuring from that line up to generally like just over 2 inches, because they tend to be slightly bigger than what they truly are. The same for the bottom. This particular one had tiny little dots, I don't know if you can see, on both ends, and I've just put a pencil mark on them to make them more noticeable as well. I don't want this to be my seam line where the line is, so I just got a little bit of paper and I put it on that seam line here, and I just marked above it here all the way around, so I know that that's going to be even to this line here, just to keep it, you know, nice and straight. If you just want to use the seam line, then that's easy because you can see it. Now I'm going to be covering this in fabric. I got to be careful not to lose the top and the bottom points, because they can be hard to get back if you lose them after you've covered the ball. So I need to get myself a couple of pins. I think I'll get a couple of dark pins for this, just so they stand out a bit more. I've already gone ahead and cut some fabric. I'm going to be using this very shiny, sparkly, it's a lovely champagne colour fabric. I hope it's big enough. Maybe I'll do the small end first and see if it's big enough, and then I'll do the larger one. Now I'm doubling the fabric, and that's because if you put it over like that, you can still see the ball through it, but if I double it, it gives it a much better look. It's not, you know, it just gives it a shiny look rather than a foam ball behind it look. So what I'm going to do is find my top here. I'm going to just place a little bit of glue, and you can use whatever glue you're comfortable using. I'm just putting a bit of glue there to hold my fabric, and putting that there. But what I'm going to do before I lose that center is I'm going to just put my pin right in the center there, so I know that that is the top of my bauble, just to make it easier on myself. And then I'm going to run a bead of glue all around the line, the dotted line that I've put there. Maybe just do one side at a time and pull this down. And because it's rather fine, this fabric, I can probably pull them both down and it'll go through and stick both of them at the same time, like that. Now there will be a little bit of easing involved, which just means, you know, to work the fabric in, because the fabric's square and the ball is round. I have the fans going. It is extremely hot and humid here right now. The weather is, it's draining. You don't really want to do much. I thought I'd better get started on some Christmas things today, because I've just had no real Christmassy, apart from making my journals, which I really, really enjoyed. I've had no desire to get into the Christmas mood. I haven't even got my Christmas tree up. I've asked my husband to get it out for me, so hopefully today is the day he'll get it out. And then that might help a little bit get me into the spirit of Christmas by starting to decorate. I'm usually decorated at the beginning of December, but not this year. This year's a bit different. And I've been watching a lovely lady on YouTube, Marion's World. She has a Christmas advent going at the moment. It's so lovely, so pleasant. Okay, so I've glued all that down. If you feel that it needs a bit more glue, you can put a bit more glue on. And then all I'm going to do is trim the excess off. Okay, get rid of that. Right, so that is that. I can just see the little grey marks through there, but that's okay as long as I have the general, because now I've got that marked. It's easy enough to measure down where I need anything else to go. Now I'm thinking these probably might not be big enough to go all the way up, because I kind of made them to go up to the center line. So I just need to cut another couple of pieces of fabric. I can bind the end. And you could cut them circular, but this fabric's, you know, it's not that easy. It curls very quickly, so okay, this looks a bit bigger. Yeah, that's plenty big enough there. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing going back the other way. So I want to be putting that in the bottom and see how. Okay, I'm just going to, yeah, that's it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the glue wasn't making it stay in there. Okay, so the first, well, I'm going to do exactly the same as I did for the bottom, and then I'll be back. I've just pinned the bottom part in there. With this one, it's a little bit easier. You just put glue over the end part there of the fabric you put down last time. That will, so you don't end up with a seam that's far too wide. Okay, and just hold it and go around. Alright, so I've glued all that, and it looks a mess, doesn't it? It just a little bit of maneuvering, pulling. It does help to use a stretchy kind of fabric, something that's got some sort of play in it. Okay, let's trim all that off and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's that. And I know you think, oh my goodness, it's all going to be covered, so it's all right. Now, let's clean that off a bit. What I want to do is from Beebeecraft, I got these beautiful brooches, and they're like a heart-shaped brooch, and they're just lovely. They're just beautiful, and I thought I'd like to put a couple of these on a bauble and make it a special bauble. I just think they're lovely. So what I need to do is take the brooch back off of this. So let's just see how we go here. Whoop, that was easy. Don't know where it went, but it's easy. Okay, so that was fairly easy to take those off. I don't know where went flying. I'll find it, but I got the sharp bit here. So that can go straight in the bin. Might need that that way. Okay, so I've also got another one here. I took the back off this before, and you don't want to bend them so much that they lose their shape entirely, but you can just have a little play with it, like that, so that it, you know, conforms to the bauble like that. So I'm wanting to put one on one side and one on the other. Sometimes when you make Christmas baubles, if you put something heavy on one side, it will, when you hang it on the tree, it will tilt and the heavier part will hang down. So you kind of have to balance them out. I've learnt that from experience. So I don't know which is going to be the front and the back. So we'll put that there, let's say. May need another pin or two just to hold it in place. That's the beauty of these baubles. You can do that, and does that look about right? I'm just trying to get the like that. I might need to move the other one a little bit higher up, I think. Put that there. I want it to cover up that part, so like that. Okay. isn't it? Like that. And then what I want to do is I have this beautiful trim here from Beebeecraft. Now I could use this, which is a lovely gimp braid. Oops. And go over the seam at the side if I wanted to, but because I have this, I think I'm going to do that. I think I perhaps need to glue these on. That slipped right out there, didn't it? Like that. Okay. So I'll glue one on. And then what I want to do is use this braid around between like that, and it will cover up all those workings. I may need to lift it just slightly, I think. That, and it will cover up quite nicely, I'm hoping. It seems like it will. It's so sparkly it's hard to see. First I'll get these glued on though. Okay, so we want some glue on that one. Okay. And I am using the Helmer 450 quick dry adhesive on this, sparingly on the actual foam though, because these strong glues do eat away at the foam if you're not careful. So let's just put that there. Oh, upside down. That was silly, wasn't it? Make sure you got it the right way. Like that. Okay. Take that out. Try and bring it down a bit and mould it. To the actual bauble. So pretty and sparkly. I love the sparkles at Christmas time. I just do. Cheers, people. Right, I've just got a little bit of glue on that and I don't want it hanging funny. There we go. I think that's because I put it on upside down accidentally and the glue got on there, so I'm just pulling that up so that it will dangle nicely. Okay. Everything can be fixed. There we go. Don't put it on upside down. There we go. Okay, they're freely dangling now. Like that. Just have to hold it away from me to make sure it looks alright. Okay. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side, but I'm not going to glue it upside down. Okay. It looks alright, I think. They're all dangling nicely, yep. Yep. Okay. Now let's see how this is going to go. Actually went Christmas shopping with my daughter a couple of weeks ago to look at, you know, Christmas decorations in the shop and everything. Oh my goodness, they're getting so expensive. I haven't actually bought, you know, fancy decorations for many years from the shop. And, you know, like a normal one, you're just looking at about $10 for a bauble. Eh? Is it me, or is that quite expensive for just one bauble? Okay, thinking to dip it like that, and then finding, I think I've got a couple of stray odd, might have a couple in here of little rhinestones to put in those corners. I think that will work. So let me just put this on. Like that. Oh, it must be on the other side. Oh my goodness, that one must be a little bit more over. That's not good. Although I don't think it will be noticeable at all. I'll just it'll be fine. You don't see all the way around at the same time anyway, so we will be fine. This one will just have to be cut a little bit bigger, I think, slightly. Actually, had they been exactly the same, I think I would have had trouble fitting them in, because there's only certain points that you can cut. Fine. That's fine. So I'm just going to probably find a little rhinestone for there and there. Ooh, very jazzy. Very jazzy. Okay. A little rhinestone. I'm not sure, they might be a bit big. Oh, there's a couple of little ones here. And I think they're only needed on one side, because the other side matched up quite well. Although, we'll see. Definitely need one there. It might be a bit big. And there, I was thinking. Might be a bit big. Okay, just a moment. Alright, and that's all stuck on. I think that looks fine. I did put one on every corner, and I think that looks quite pretty. Isn't it lovely? Oh my goodness, so sparkly. Oops, hang on. One little stray one. There we go. Okay, done. Don't glue it on upside down. You learn from these things. Okay, there we go. So now I want to put a hanger on. I have these lovely metal ribbon slides. I'm going to use one of those for the top, on the top, just to decorate the top, because I kind of want this being the showpiece, not the top, not the bottom. And on the bottom, I'm going to use, I have buttons. I'm going to use a sparkly button, like that. And to put them on, I have this lovely vintage thread. I got this years ago. I found it thrifting. I love it. I've got so many of my decorations hanging with this thread. It's just lovely, and it's not too shiny. It has that lovely old look to it. So I'm using that. I will need a very long needle. Just let me put these away. Oh, that was a bit loud. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I have a long needle here. I need to thread it. Oh, my threader. Okay. Not the easiest yarn to thread. Okay, we have our pins. So starting from the top, I'm going to put it in, and hopefully come out close to that pin. If not, just go back up and bring it in and redirect it. Oh, nice. Okay, so I've come up right next to that pin there. So now I'm taking that pin out. I'll give that a bit of a clean. And pulling that through, not all the way. Threading my button like that, and then it's so hard to see the sparkly with the sparkling through. Not going directly in where I came out, but going over just a little bit, because you have to take into consideration the shank on the button, and then hopefully coming up in the right spot. So try and actually aim it towards that. Oh, no, they far too far over. Far too far over. A bit more. Somewhere in between both of those. That will do. So I've got one there going in and one coming out over there. That will be fine. Pull that through. Okay, so that's what the button looks like on the bottom, but when you pull it through, push it into the foam, and the foam will allow it to embed itself into it. So now it's nice and flat. And there we have our hanger about the same. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is trim that one. Put that somewhere safe. Take the pin out, get one of these lovely little buckle slides. Don't know where these could have been a gift at some stage from somebody. I'm going to thread it through either side of the buckle slide, like that, and tie a knot, like that. You can tie 2 knots if you want. Like that, and then tie the ends off. Not too close though, you don't want it too close to the bauble, you want plenty of room to put it around a branch, so towards the end. Like that. That looks about right. Make sure I've got all the ends. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. There we go. And then just trim those off. Like that. There we have a lovely Christmas bauble for the Christmas tree. Now, I'm just going to turn that so that it will hang like that. If you want it to hang that way, and just twist the buckle slide the other way. You could put a little bit of glue under that if you wanted to, but it's fine. Just finishes the top off so it looks pretty, and it's lovely. You could put a bow on it if you wanted to. I mean, it's quite easy just to put a little tulle bow up the top if you wanted to. Let's have a look. Okay, so there we go. I've tied a tulle bow on top there. That could probably be a bit smaller. There. I have my hanger. I did put a little bit of glue underneath the buckle slide at the back there, just to keep it in the right position. So that is the front or back. They're both front, because there's no bow at the back there. I could put something there if I wanted to. What could we put there? I'm wondering. We could put something there, couldn't we? Just a little, oh, got that. That might be a bit big. What have we got here? My little dish, too big. Oh, what's that? Little crystal? No. The beauty with Christmas decorations is that you can put anything on, really, can't you? I could put just that coming down, right? I could. In fact, I think I will. Covers up just that inner workings there, and it uses up, that's just a little bit of this trim. It just covers it all up, and then we can call it finished. That in there. Glue. There we go. Done. Little dangle on the back there. I think it works quite alright. And a bow on the front, like that. Lovely. So that is the finished bauble. A little bit on the back there, the bow's in place. I think it turned out quite nicely. So that's that one, and I did make another bauble as well. The same sort of concept, got glue everywhere. But this was my trial one, and I just used 2 rows of this lovely silver gimp braid from Beebeecraft, and then a row of this lovely rhinestone trim from Beebeecraft also. And then I just, in between the 2 rows of the gimp, I just put a little bit of stranded pearl trim. I put the button on the bottom and the ribbon slide on the top, the same as I did for this one. So they are my 2 Christmas decorations using products from Beebeecraft. After taking a step back and having a look, I thought the baubles needed a little bit extra. I found this lovely rhinestone bow. It's an old one, so I have glued that to the front of that bauble there. I think that looks very pretty for the front of it. Just added that little bit extra. And with this one, I added the tulle bow on top, but what I did was I cut pieces of this trim here and glued them all around the top of it, and it's really elevated it now. It just looks absolutely lovely, not quite so simple, and you can do that at Christmas. I really like the way that one turned out as well. Because I'm very pleased, you know, with adding that little bit extra to them, and you can always do that, can't you? But you don't always see it when you're making them. You need to take a step back sometimes. So thank you so much for watching, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.